Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of the Get Momentum bonus course. Here with a good friend of mine, fellow author in Toronto, Canada, Michael Bungay-Stania. Thank you so much for sharing some time with us. I do have a marked up copy. Actually, this one was signed. So as you dedicated your book to what we're doing, here's to the great work, I want to dedicate this bonus course to every one of the Get Momentum members. Thanks for sharing some time with us today.
It's fantastic. I know what good work you do. I mean, we've kind of gone way back. We both got roots in kind of David Allen stuff. We were talking before we got onto this about just what you're doing with the Momentum Group, and it just sounds fantastic. That whole point about momentum is not just action, but it's direction as well. And to be able to bring that focus and that kind of level of impact, very cool. So I'm excited to be having the chat with you.
Well, thanks, Michael. So, for those of you out there who are leaders, that's everybody, but for those of you out there who are directing discussions, directing conversations, so the name of the book, The Coaching Habits, Say Less, Ask More, and Change the Way You Lead Forever. So, over at Get Momentum, we talk a lot about what I call the three kinds of conversations. And as I read your book, one of my takeaways was your focus on the discussions that influence, manage, and how did you put it? Engage.
Right.
So, of course, author to author, friend to friend, when did this kind of 7-question pattern, when did those three things manifest themselves? I'm sure it wasn't overnight, but over time, what was the inciting incident that you said, I got to write a book on this?
Well, what we've done at our little company, Box of Crayons, we started off pretty general because, when I started Box of Crayons, honestly, my entire business plan was say yes to anybody with a wallet. If they have a pulse, that's a bonus, but if they have a wallet, I can do it. I can turn my hand to most things. I can do a bit of strategy, a bit of communication, a bit of innovation, a bit of productivity. I can kind of do all of that. But over time, what's brought us momentum is focus. And what we've decided the sweet spot for us, the thing we think we do really well, that we do really differently, that has real impact, and that people have a budget for, are practical coaching skills for busy managers. And as our company has got older, we've just kind of kept shedding stuff that feels extraneous to that. So now it's really great. When people go, so Michael, what do you do? I go, this is all we do.
Right.
Practical coaching skills that busy managers can coach in 10 minutes or less. So what that means is I've now had 5 or 6 years of just doing coach training skills for managers. And, there's that great quote, and I'll mangle it slightly, which is some famous American jurist whose name I can never remember, says, look, I wouldn't give a fig for simplicity on this side of complexity, but I'd give everything for simplicity on the other side of complexity. And when I look at how people think about coaching, honestly, I get deeply irritated because it's overly complex, it's overly theoretical, it's overly grounded in this is how executive coaches coach, so this is how managers and leaders should coach, which I think is totally wrong. And so a lot of our quest has been, how do we make coaching normal and just an everyday way of interacting with people? As you say, it's a conversation. It's not a profession. It's not a monthly event. It's a way of showing up and being with people. And as we've done that work, what we've seen is this is the stuff that seems to work most effectively. So as I say to myself, I'm like, okay, if I'm giving managers and leaders and influencers and engagers the simplest of tools, what's the simplest things I can give them that would have the most impact? And when it comes down to it, it's sort of like these 7 questions plus the discipline to put them into action.
So what we'll do in this bonus course is we're going to go question by question. I'd love to hear you share a little bit of the behind the scenes on each one. And
Sure.
For those of you watching this bonus course, we're going to spend 2 to 3 minutes max. And I'll do what I can to rein us in because you get two coaches.
I get too excited.
We love to talk. And through each of the next 7 episodes, be thinking to yourself not just how what you're hearing will impact you, influence you, but, and I think you're going to allude to this, how can you use these techniques tonight, over the family dinner, tomorrow, in that leadership meeting that you're attending? So,
Yeah, and just before we go there, let me just say this, Jason. This is really important because sometimes coaching gets framed as it's just the thing you do to somebody else. There's no benefit to me. I'm just coaching them because I'm going to make them stuck less or get better or whatever it might be. And for me, you're only going to use some of these questions if you can see that there's benefit to you so that you get to work less hard, you get to have more impact, you get to liberate and free and encourage those around you. But there's also immense benefit to those other folks as well. So that's what all of this is about.
Beautiful.